It's that time of the month again. Time to lose all that weight from Thanksgiving dinner and work on the next content update. Time to once again address what the current status is of the iOS version. Time to get going on streaming the game. I was out for the week of Thanksgiving with family. I just got back home and I hope I didn't miss anything important that would impact this game's player base in the future. Oh sh**. Block Story has been through quite a bit this last November. The game received a decent amount of content for the first time in years. It's time to keep that foot on the gas and continue to bring this game back to life. Let's look back at what happened this last month in that one-of-a-kind sandbox experience that you can't get anywhere else. Block Story! This month started out strong as the game got its very first dev stream. I spent a lot of time getting the UI and alerts set up for this to work. Before this stream, I actually wanted to do a test stream to make sure everything was working. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to do it, so we just did it live!
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
I wasn't sure how many people were going to show up to this thing. I was thinking maybe 10 or 20. But what ended up happening is we had over 100 concurrent viewers, which was crazy to see. The live stream ended up going pretty well. Headhunter joined me in the chat and we answered some of the community's questions while revealing the content that was coming in the next update. And at the end, I revealed that the update was going live right now. It's safe to say that this was a success, and you can expect to see plenty more of these things going forward. Version 13.4, Rise of the Kingdom Part 1, released on Steam and Android to much success. This update addressed the remaining issues that came with the engine update, and allowed for players on all platforms to play the game freely without any game-breaking issues. Well, I guess some bugs did show up that were pretty funny, but those got patched out pretty quickly. This update introduced the new NPCs into the game with procedurally generated clothing. It also introduced a revamped movement system, the new alchemist fight, and so much more. When this update released, we saw the Steam version hit a new record high in concurrent players, as well as the mobile version sales hitting heights that haven't been seen in over 5 years. It finally felt like this game was back. The Block Story Wiki is continuing to transfer over from fandom to wiki.gg. This has been a huge task, and we've seen some new members join the Wiki team since the last monthly wipe I did to help out with this process. Lots of new pages have been added with information, and it continues to grow each day. Some new things were added that weren't in the old Wiki, like a news section. It's been unbelievable seeing how much work the community has been putting into this. And soon, this Wiki will turn into a very reliable place to get all your information about the game, and I'll be using it myself. Archangel's work continues as 2 more of his tracks have been added to the game's villages to give them a new theme along with the new villagers. In my opinion, these tracks give them more of a home experience whenever you enter them. One of them is playing right now. What do you think of it? It's time for me to address this once again because it has taken me a lot more time than I was expecting. Of course, I'm talking about the iOS version of the game. I was seriously hoping I could get this version of the game back up on the App Store in a week or 2 after the Rise of the Kingdom Part 1 released. However, what I wasn't expecting was for Xcode to be a pain in the butt. So let me quickly explain what's going on here. To develop an app on the App Store, you first need a Mac. I got one. Then you need to build the game in Unity. I did that. Then you need to port that build of the game over to Xcode. This is basically Apple's software that the game needs to run and build on in order to get ported over to their App Store. Why do apps need to go through Xcode in order to be on their App Store? Because Apple said so. So when I went to port the build onto Xcode, I wasn't expecting to be greeted with hundreds of errors and warnings that needed to be fixed in order for the game to successfully build in Xcode. I've been working on addressing these problems for a game that I still don't fully understand that has thousands of files so that it will successfully build in Xcode so I can put it back on the store. It has taken some stress and time to get this, and I still can't get it to successfully build without another error popping up. This whole process makes me want to pull my hair out, but I'm not stopping because I know how big of a player base there is on iOS that wants this game to return. And then things continued to get worse. Towards the end of the month, I was thrown a huge curveball. The free version of Block Story suddenly came back onto iOS. Why is this a bad thing? Well, the original developer of the iOS version left the project, leaving just me and Headhunter to work on the game. He hasn't talked to me in over 6 years and doesn't answer either of our messages. So he decided to bring it back because he noticed it's missing, or he wanted to try to cash in on everyone else's work. I hope not. This version that he brought back is over 6 years old and is missing so much content. There is no version of the game labeled free anymore. There's just Block Story and Block Story Premium. Also, he can't update the game to the latest version without breaking everything because he probably has no idea which version of Unity the game now runs on. This leaves me with 2 options. 1, I hope he messages me back so we can work things out and get both versions back and fully updated. Or 2, he continues to ignore me, forcing me to have to re-release the game under a new name, forcing people to have to buy the game a second time. Sometimes I feel like I'm the unluckiest person on the planet. And that concludes this month of November. We got the game's first content update in years, and the player base seems to be taking an upward trend, but we aren't stopping there. As the holiday month of December approaches, expect to start to see some new teasers of Rise of the Kingdom Part 2. This next update is going to be a big one. You're not going to want to miss what is coming next. Thank you all for watching. Xcel signing off.